G'day, you absolute legends of the crypto world. I'm Sash from CRYPTOLOGIC, coming to you straight from the buzzing heart of Melbourne, where the aroma of fresh coffee mingles with the electric hum of blockchain innovation. Guys, every single morning I pinch myself because we're living through one of the most exhilarating chapters in human history. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency aren't just fancy tech or quick bucks, they're the revolutionary force flipping the script on traditional finance. Think about it. For centuries, banks and governments have held the reins on our money, deciding who gets access, charging exorbitant fees, and inflating currencies at will. But Bitcoin? It's the people's money, decentralized, borderless, and unbreakable. I've been in this space since the early days, back when Bitcoin was trading for peanuts. And I've seen it transform lives, from empowering unbanked communities in developing nations to giving everyday Aussies like us hedge against economic uncertainty. Let me share a quick personal story to set the tone. A few years ago, during the 2022 bear market, I doubled down on my belief in crypto's potential. I attended a local Melbourne meetup where a young entrepreneur shared how blockchain helped him remit funds to his family overseas without losing half to fees. That moment solidified it for me. Crypto isn't speculation, it's liberation. It's about sovereignty over your wealth, transparency in transactions, and building a future where financial inclusion is the norm, not the exception. Today, with Bitcoin shattering barriers yet again, I'm more fired up than ever. We are not just observers, we are participants in a global shift toward a fairer, more efficient financial ecosystem. So grab your brew, settle in, because this episode is packed. We are diving deep into the local Aussie developments, global market mayhem, insightful analysis, educational gems, and more. It's going to be an epic ride, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts along the way. What's got you excited about crypto today? Drop it in the comments. Let's make this a conversation. All right. Before we plunge into the nitty-gritty of today's headlines, let's crank up the fun factor with not one, but a trio of daily crypto jokes. Because who says finance can't be funny? First up, why did the Bitcoin break up with Ethereum? It needed more space, and those gas fees were just too clingy. Talk about high maintenance relationship. All right, second one. What's a crypto trader's favorite type of music? Pump and dump step. Gets the charts moving every time. And for the finale, why don't Bitcoin miners ever get cold? Because they're always hashing out warm blocks in the network. Groaners or gold? You tell me. Flood the comments with your own crypto puns, and I'll feature the top picks in tomorrow's episode. Seriously, this community is what makes CRYPTOLOGIC special. Your energy keeps me going. Now, speaking of energy, let's shift gears to what's happening right here in Australia. How are these jokes landing for you? Hilarious or heckle-worthy? Starting close to home, because The crypto revolution is as local as it is global, and nothing gets my blood, Aussie blood, pumping like seeing our nation lead the charge in smart regulation. Today, the big buzz is the Australian Treasury's freshly unveiled draft laws under the Treasury Laws Amendment Bill 2025, Digital Asset and Tokenized Custody Platforms. This isn't some minor tweak. It's a comprehensive overhaul aimed at fortifying the crypto landscape down under. If you're operating in a space selling Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, stablecoins, or any tokenized assets, you'll need an Australian Financial Services Licence, AFSL, pronto, or risk whopping penalties up to $16.5 million Australian. Yep. The consultation window is open until October 24th, so if you're a trader, developer, or enthusiast in Melbourne or beyond, now's your chance to voice opinions and shape the future. But let's unpack why this matters step by step. First, the context. Australia has seen explosive growth in crypto adoption. Over 20% of Aussies now own digital assets, according to recent surveys. Yet, with growth comes risks. Remember the global scam stats? In the first half of 2025 alone, fraudsters siphoned off more than $5 billion Australian worldwide through rug pulls, phishing schemes, and exchange hacks. Locally, we've had our share of heartaches, like the 2023 collapse of Melbourne-based DeFi platform that left investors reeling. These new regs are designed to clamp down on that, requiring platforms to meet stringent standards for custody, transparency, and anti-money laundering, AML, compliance. For instance, tokenized custody services must now segregate clients' assets, preventing commingling that led to disasters like FTX's downfall. Zooming into Melbourne's vibrant scene, our city is a hotspot for crypto innovation, with hubs like the Victorian Digital Asset Centre fostering startups. These laws could supercharge that by building investor confidence. Think more venture capital flowing in, safer on ramps for beginners via licensed exchanges like Independent Reserve, SwiftX, or CoinSpot. My favourite. But it's not all smooth sailing, guys. Critics argue the 16.5 million fines could stifle small innovators, pushing them offshore. I chatted with a local blockchain dev at a recent meetup who said it's a double-edged sword. Protection, yes, but bureaucracy might slow our edge. What do you think? Is this a win for everyday traders protecting their hard-earned sats, or a regulatory overreach that hampers hustle? Let's discuss in the comments. Extending across Australia, in Sydney, fintech giants like CommBank are already aligning, expanding their blockchain pilots for tokenized real estate. Brisbane's seeing a boom in NFT art scenes, and Perth's mining ops are eyeing crypto for energy assets. Nationally, Bitcoin's hovering at 187,633 today, up 6% from last week. But these regs could stabilise volatility by weeding out bad actors. Historical parallels? Look at the EU's MiCA framework from 2024. It boosted adoption by 15% post-implementation. Australia could follow suit, potentially adding $10 billion Australian to our GDP through crypto by 2030. For consumers, it means clearer tax guidelines, gains on holdings over 12 months might qualify for capital gains discounts. If you are new to this, start by checking your platform's AFSL status and ASIC's site. This is evolution, folks. Australia positioning itself as a crypto safe haven in the Asia Pacific. Now, let's broaden our horizons to the global stage, where crypto narrative is unfolding like a blockbuster thriller full of twists, highs and game-changing moments. Wow, what an absolute whirlwind of a weekend. Bitcoin has demolished its all-time high, cresting at $187,633, marking an 11% weekly surge and pushing the total crypto market tantalizingly close to $6 trillion. What's fueling this inferno? Point the finger at the US government shutdown that kicked off on October the 1st. Congressional gridlock over funding has halted non-essential services, sending shockwaves through traditional markets and driving investors toward debasement trades. In layman's terms, when fiat currencies look shaky due to political drama, Bitcoin steps up as the ultimate hedge, a digital store of value that's immune to printing presses. Delving deeper, the Uptober phenomenon is in full swing. October has historically been Bitcoin's powerhouse month, delivering average gains of over 30% since 2013. This year, it's amplified by spot Bitcoin ETFs gobbling up $4.86 billion Australian in inflows last week alone, with heavyweights like BlackRock and Fidelity leading the charge. Ethereum's not slouching either, trading above 6,750 with its own ETF buzz and upgrades like the upcoming Prague hard fork enhancing scalability. Solana's liquidity is on fire, up 15% to $300 Australian plus, thanks to meme coin mania and DeFi protocols. XRP's, it's riding regulatory wins, surging 12% to Australian $1.20 amid Ripple's cross-border payment expansions. Global headlines are stacking up. In the UK, authorities just wrapped up the largest Bitcoin seizure ever, 61,000 Bitcoins valued at $11.5 billion Australian, linked to a decade-old Chinese fraud ring. This underscores crypto's maturation, with law enforcement getting savvier. Meanwhile, Sweden's debating a national Bitcoin reserve to counter geopolitical risks inspired by El Salvador's success. Asia's heading up to Japan's government pension fund allocated $3 million to BTC pilots, and Singapore's exchanges reported record volumes. Even Africa, Nigeria's Naira integration with blockchain is boosting adoption by 25%. But it's not all roses. India's crypto tax hikes are sparking outflows, reminding us of regulatory patchworks. Partnerships are the secret sauce. Telegram's Ton wallet just inked a deal with Kraken for tokenized US equities, bridging TradeFi and crypto. In the metaverse realm, Decentraland's user base hit 5 million, fueled by NFT land sales. And don't overlook emerging tech. Zero-knowledge proofs in projects like Polygon are slashing transaction costs, making mass adoption viable. Overall, this global surge feels like tipping point. Institutions are all in, with 60% of Fortune 500 firms now holding crypto per Deloitte reports. For us Aussies, it means ripple effects, stronger AUD pairs on exchanges, more cross-border opportunities. What's your take on this worldwide wave? Bullish beyond belief or cautious amid the hype? Alright legends, let's roll up our sleeves for the in-depth analysis segment where we dissect the why, how and what next on these developments. This is where the real value lies, helping you navigate the markets with eyes wide open. Starting with the US shutdown, it's more than political theatre. It's a catalyst for Bitcoin's uncorrelated status. While the S&P 500 dipped 2%, Bitcoin soared, proving its role as digital gold in times of fiat debasement. Historically, similar events like the 2018 and 19 shutdown saw Bitcoin gains of 20% post-resolution. Technicals tell a tale. Bitcoin's RSI sits at 78, signaling overbought but not exhausted. Watch for pullbacks to 180,000 before resuming the climb. Moving averages, the 50-day crossed the 200-day in a golden cross last month, a bullish harbinger. Altcoins are sinking. Ethereum's 6,750 level eyes $7,500 resistance, bolstered by 460% potential ETF-driven gains if fillings green light. Solana's on-chain metrics, 1.2 million daily active users, scream undervalued, while XRP's legal clarity could unlock $2 targets. Implications locally and globally. Australia's regs might temper short-term speculation but foster long-term growth, mirroring Canada's model where licensed frameworks boosted GDP contributions by 8%. Globally, halvings have halved supply issuance, creating scarcity amid rising demand. Strategies Michael Saylor predicts 31.5 million per Bitcoin by 2046. A mind-bending 661 trillion market cap. Tim Draper's even bolder. Businesses ignoring BTC are irresponsible, targeting 375,000 Australian by year end. Risks? Volatility persists. A shutdown extension could trigger liquidations, but on-chain data shows whale accumulation at record highs. Hypothetical scenarios. If Uptober delivers 40% gains, BTC hits $262,000 by November, fueled by ETF approvals and nation-state adoptions. For alts, watch DeFi TVL crossing $300 Australian billion, driven by yield farming innovations. My passionate prediction? This isn't a bubble. It's adoption acceleration. Crypto is solving real problems, like remittances costing Aussies 10 billion yearly dollars in fees, Australian. But remember, markets swing. Use tools like Bollinger Bands for entries. What's your analysis angle? Share below. Let's crowdsource smarts. Shifting to education mode, because arming you with knowledge is my mission, empowering you to thrive in this space safely and smartly. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. These are insights from years in the trenches. Always do your own research and consult pros. Let's start with blockchain basics, expanded for depth. At its core, blockchain is a distributed ledger, like an infinite, tamper-proof spreadsheet shared across the thousands of computers, nodes. Each block contains transactions linked via cryptographic hashes. If you alter one, the chain breaks, alerting everyone. Consensus mechanisms like proof of work for Bitcoin or proof of stake for Ethereum ensure agreement. Miners solve puzzles to add blocks, earning rewards, while stakers lock coins for validation. Why revolutionary? It's trustless, no middlemen needed. For Aussies, imagine tokenizing property deeds on blockchain, slashing settlement times from weeks to minutes. Deeper dive, smart contracts, code that self-executes, power DeFi, lending without banks, yielding 5 to 15% APY on stablecoins. But risks abound. 51% attacks, rare but possible on smaller chains, or quantum threats, mitigated by post-quantum crypto in development. Investment tips unpacked. Begin with Bitcoin as your anchor. Allocate 5 to 10% of portfolio for your diversification. Research alts, Ethereum for smart contracts, Solana for speed, 500 times faster than ETH. Strategies. Dollar cost average, DCA, $100 weekly to smooth volatility. Set stop losses at 10% below entry. Tools. Use TradingView for charts, CoinMarketCap for data. Consumer Protection Masterclass, enable multi-factor authentication MFA, opt for cold storage like Trezor, hardware wallets, which will cost you around $150 to $300. Spot scams, unsolicited investment opportunities via email, red flag. Phishing sites mimic exchanges. Always verify URLs. Here's a real case for you. The 2024 Optus data breach exposed crypto holders. Use privacy coins like Monero for anonymity. Resources galore. Head to cryptologic.com.au for more. External gems, ASIC's Money Smart for Basics, Coursera's Cryptocurrency and Blockchain by Princeton. For advanced, dive into white papers at bitcoin.org or ethereum.org. This segment alone could save you thousands. Knowledge is your shield. Question on any of this? Comment and I'll expand in future eps. What an absolute marathon of crypto insights from Australia's regulatory renaissance to Bitcoin's global domination. We've covered the gamut. This space isn't just about charts and prices, it's a movement, a belief in technology's power to democratize finance and foster innovation. I've shared my heart because I see crypto's transformative magic every day, empowering individuals, bridging divides, and challenging the status quo. If today's episode sparked that fire in you, show some love. Like for the loves, subscribe for daily doses. We're growing this community one legend at a time, and share with friends still stuck in fiat land. Don't forget to explore cryptologic.com.au, your gateway to deeper dives, exclusive content, and tools to level up your crypto game. Quick community shoutouts. Big ups to Aussie Hodler for that spot on Uptober prediction last week, and Melbourne Crypto Queen for sharing her scam survival story. Inspiring stuff. Inspiring. Your move today, DCA into BTC, research an alt, and Dior, guys, Dior. Do your own research. Tell me below. This is Sash from CryptoLogic. Stay curious, stay secure, and above all, stay passionate. We'll reconvene in the next one for more. Hodl strong, you legends.